Hello children, welcome to the online classes on YouTube channel DEO Nalgonda. Dear children, today we shall discuss various topics in the 10th unit Nutrition in Plants of 7th class English medium General Science. Children, have you ever wondered where we get food from? Yes, we get food from plants. Then why do we need food? We need food to get energy. We get energy from the food we eat. So, then where do we get food from? Yes, you are right. We get food from the plants around us. We cultivate various crops to get food materials. So, have you ever wondered how these plants can prepare these food materials? So, the question flashed in your mind was age old question, because various people from 2000 and more than 2000 years have been trying to find out the solution or answer to this question. The first person to think about this concept was Aristotle. You know, Aristotle was a Greek scholar. He belonged to the country Greece and he was a great scholar. Aristotle thought that plants could produce everything from what they get from the soil. So, Aristotle thought that plants can prepare the food, or plants can prepare everything from what they receive from the soil. So, Aristotle's assumption was that he thought, or he assumed that plants produce everything from the material they receive from the soil. It was his assumption, and this assumption was believed for many centuries. And after Aristotle, Van Helmont, he was a scientist, he conducted experiments to find out how plants prepare the food materials. So, he conducted experiment on a willow plant. He conducted the experiment for 5 years. So, he first took a small willow plant and planted the willow plant in a big pot or in a big vessel, and before doing that he measured the weight of the plant. At the same time he also measured the weight of the dry soil, and he carefully covered the plant so that other soil particles or other materials may not come and fall onto the soil, so that its mass may be increased. He took much care, and so that he covered the part where the willow plant was planted with a lid, and he made some holes in the lid so that the plant may receive rainwater and air, and he let the plant for 5 years. After 5 years, again he measured the mass of the plant and mass of the soil. The details of his experiments are given in your textbook in the form of a table. You please go through them. So, after examining the details or the data from the experiment he had conducted, he came to the conclusion that the increase in the mass of the plant was not only due to soil alone, and he assumed that the increase in the weight of the plant or mass of the plant is due to the absorption of water. So, that was his assumption. So, Aristotle thought or assumed that plants produce everything from what they get from the soil. After many centuries, von Helmont conducted an experiment on a willow plant for 5 years. After taking the data into consideration, after 5 years, he came to the conclusion, or he assumed that plants could produce everything which they receive from the soil, not only from the soil but something else, and he assumed that the other thing which added to the weight of the plant was the water which the plant absorbs. So, these were his assumptions. What are they? Van Helmont, after 5 years of his experiments on willow plant, concluded or assumed that the weight of the plant is not only due to the soil alone, and next assumption is that the increase in the weight of the plant is due to the absorption of the water. So, he thought that water could add to the weight of the plant. Those were his assumptions, and after him a scientist by name Stephen Hales, he proposed that leaves as organs of transpiration and possible role of light in plant nutrition. So, Stephen Hales proposed another important concept, that is, he thought that leaves are the organs of transpiration. So, transpiration is a process in which plants exchange gases. The gases present in the air enter into the plant, and the gases which are produced in the plant will enter into the atmosphere or air. That process is called transpiration. Transpiration is nothing but the exchange of gases, and possible role of light in plant nutrition. So, he made two assumptions. What are they? He thought that leaves are the site of transpiration, means the process of transpiration in plants takes place through leaves, and second assumption is that he thought that light may have an important role in the process of plant nutrition. He assumed the role of light in the process of nutrition. Those were his two assumptions. Next, Priestley, another scientist, he demonstrated that plants are doing reverse of what animals are doing to air. So, after Stephen Hales, Priestley, a scientist, demonstrated and proposed that plants are doing reverse to what animals are doing to the air. He thought that animals release some gases into the air, and these gases are in turn absorbed or utilized by the plants. So, he used the word reverse. He thought that plants are doing reverse to what animals are doing to the air. Who is that man? Priestley. Okay. And next, another scientist, Ingenhousz, found that only green plants exposed to sunlight could do the process what Priestley has said. So, Priestley said that plants do the reverse to what animals do. Means he assumed that the gases which animals release into the air are absorbed by the plants. So, that is why he mentioned the word reverse. Plants do the reverse to the what animals do. So, in continuation to that, Ingenhousz proposed that green parts of plants when exposed to sunlight could do it. What is that? Reverse process. Means plants can utilize the gases which are released by the animals into the air. So, who is that man? A scientist, Ingenhousz. What was his proposal or what was his assumption? He found only green plants exposed to sunlight can do that process. What is that what is that process? That is a reverse process mentioned or assumed by the scientist Priestley. So, Ingenhousz proposed that only green parts. Can you name me which parts of plants are green in color? Yes, you are right. Leaves are green in color. In bigger plants that is trees, leaves are green in color, but in smaller plants, leaves as well as stem is also green in color. So, Ingenhousz found only green parts when exposed to sunlight, when they are in the sunlight, can reverse the process mentioned by Priestley. So, after these scientists, many more scientists have carried out their investigation on the nutrition process in plants, and by putting all the assumptions and data of the various scientists we have discussed, now the scientists have come to the conclusion that plants can prepare their own food by a process called photosynthesis. Now, the scientists have come to the conclusion that plants can prepare their own food by a method or by a process called photosynthesis. Okay. So, can you define what photosynthesis is? Yes, photosynthesis is a process in which plants can prepare their own food in the presence of light, and there is a condition for the photosynthesis to occur, that is the plants must be green in color. As mentioned by as mentioned by Ingenhousz, only green parts exposed to sunlight can make the food, that is nutrition. So, the modern definition for the preparation of food by the plants is photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is a process in which plants can prepare their own food in the presence of light and utilizing carbon dioxide present in the air. So, there is a chemical equation which represents the process of photosynthesis. Children, you must learn this chemical equation, because in your higher classes this is very important, and this appears, this concept repeats many times. So, it is better for you to learn this equation. Shall we write that equation, children? Yes. Equation for photosynthesis, chemical equation for photosynthesis. photosynthesis. Okay, 6 CO2 plus 12 H2O gives here sunlight and chlorophyll. Here we get C6H12O6 plus 6H2O plus 6O2. This is the chemical equation for photosynthesis. So here the substances or compounds are this CO2 stands for carbon dioxide, H2O stands for water, C6H12O6 stands for glucose, H2O again stands for water, and O2 stands for oxygen. So if you keenly observe this equation, you can easily say which substances are required for photosynthesis. Here you see carbon dioxide is reacting with water. For that reaction, the process requires two things. One is sunlight, second one is chlorophyll. Then what is chlorophyll? Yes, chlorophyll is a green substance present in the leaves of plants. Of course, all green colored parts of a plant contain this chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is a pigment. Pigment is a coloring substance. Where is this chlorophyll present? Chlorophyll is present in all the green colored substances in plants. Generally, green colored substances are parts in plants are leaves mostly. And C6H12O6 is the glucose molecule, H2O is water molecule, and O2 is the oxygen. So here 6 molecules of carbon dioxide react with 12 molecules of water to produce 1 molecule of glucose and 6 molecules of water and 6 molecules of oxygen. So the oxygen formed here is released into the air. The arrow mark showing upward direction indicates that O2 is a gas, and the gas produced will be released into the air itself. So this is the notation or equation for photosynthesis. I ask the children, do learn this equation. This is a very important equation and it appears in your higher classes as well. So you better learn this equation. I repeat, 6CO2 plus 12H2O gives C6H12O6 plus 6H2O plus 6O2. For the reaction to take place or to happen, we require two things. One is sunlight and chlorophyll. So if any one of these compounds is absent, photosynthesis does not take place. If sunlight is not available, there is no chance for the photosynthesis to take place. If chlorophyll is not present in the plants, there is no chance for the photosynthesis to occur. And if carbon dioxide is not available for a plant, there is no chance for it to prepare food. And if water is also an important component for the photosynthesis to occur, then where do the plants get water from? Do you have any idea? Yes, plants get water from the roots. You are right. So plants have root system or roots to absorb the water present in the soil. That is the primary function of the roots in a plant. and the water absorbed by the roots is transported to every part of the plant through stem. So, stem conducts water absorbed by the roots to each and every part of the stem. So, plants absorb water through the root system, and the water absorbed by the root system is dispersed to each and every part of the plant through stem. So, stem and roots play an important role in the transportation or in the supply of water to all the plants, especially to all the leaves, so that photosynthesis can occur. Okay. So, root system helps the plants in absorption of water from the soil. That is a very well known common fact to all of us. And second one, exchange of air or exchange of gases. Just now I told you that a scientist, Stephen Hales, assumed that leaves are the organs of transpiration. His assumption is 100% true. So, plants transpire or plants carry out the process of transpiration through some small pores or holes present in the leaves, which are called stomata. Stomata are the pores or minute holes present on the leaves through which exchange of gases take place. Exchange of gases means entry of carbon dioxide from air into the leaves and oxygen released during the photosynthesis will enter into the leaves through the stomata. This process is called transpiration or simply exchange of gases. Exchange of gases in leaves takes place through minute pores or holes present in the leaves. Okay, those holes or pores are called stomata. And the importance of sunlight in the process of photosynthesis. Like I said previously, sunlight is a very important source for the photosynthesis to occur. Without sunlight, photosynthesis would not be possible. So, to understand that the importance of sunlight in the process of photosynthesis, you can conduct an experiment to understand that light is a important component in the process of photosynthesis. For that, you have to take a leaf, pluck a leaf from a plant which is well exposed to sunlight, and to test the presence of starch in the leaves, you need a reagent called iodine solution. By using iodine solution, you can detect the presence of starch in the leaves, but starch are green in color. So, the green color of the leaves may not clearly help us to identify the presence of starch. So, for that, the green color of the leaves must be removed. So, to remove the chlorophyll, that is the presence of chlorophyll in the leaves gives them green color. So, to remove the green color from the leaves must be boiled for some time in the water or else in the alcohol. So, the better available source is water, we can boil the leaf for some time, for 5 minutes or so in the boiling water, and if you observe it after that time, the chlorophyll leaves the leaf and the leaf becomes pale, means it is light colored. Now, if you add iodine solution to the leaf taken out from the boiling water, immediately the leaf turns into blackish blue color or dark blue color. It turns into dark blue colored leaf. So, the appearance of dark blue color indicates us that the leaf contains starch. Starch is a food material prepared by the plants. Then how can we prove that light is required for the process of photosynthesis? For that, for example, if this is the leaf of a plant, we need to cover this leaf with a dark paper, so that light does not fall in this area, and this area receives the sunlight and this part of the leaf receives the sunlight. And keeping these black papers attached to the leaves, the plant must be kept or exposed to sunlight for 2 days. So, after 2 days, pluck the leaf from the plant and boil it in the water or alcohol, so that the chlorophyll is totally removed. After the removal of the chlorophyll, if you test this leaf for starch, only the parts which are exposed to sunlight, means this part and the basal part, the bottom part and the upper part will turn into dark blue color, and the middle part, it does not show any color, it remains pale, means there is no starch formed in the middle part of the leaf. Why? Because this part of the leaf has been covered by a black paper, and this black paper does not allow the light to reach the leaf. By this simple experiment, we can say that sunlight is an essential component for the photosynthesis to happen or to take place. This is a very simple experiment. Children, we know that our food contains different components. Can you name them? Yes, they are carbohydrates, proteins, fats, minerals, etc. So, the major components are carbohydrates, proteins and fats or oils. These are the major food components present in the food which we receive from the plants. So, from the equation it is clear that glucose or sugar is being produced in the process of photosynthesis. Then how come these all substances? How are these substances produced? Yes, where do they come from? Yes, they come from the food the plant prepares during the photosynthesis. Okay, the sugar or glucose formed in the photosynthesis, it gets converted into starch. Starch is a carbohydrate, do not get confused. Glucose is a carbohydrate as well as starch is also a carbohydrate. Sugar converts into starch. So, this starch gradually gets converted into various substances like proteins or fats or oils and many organic compounds. So, the substances which are present in the food we get from the plants are actually prepared from the glucose. First, the glucose gets converted into starch and starch gradually gets converted into proteins, fats or oils. You know, many plant sources are rich in proteins, and we also know that many plant sources, plant food materials are rich in fats and oils, and most of the oil we get, edible oil we get is from the plants only. So, the other substances like proteins, fats or oils all are prepared or made by the plants from the starch. The starch is made from glucose, and this glucose is in turn prepared or made in the process of photosynthesis. So, photosynthesis is the ultimate process in which plants prepare food materials, and these food materials are the food to all other living organisms except plants, because plants can prepare their own food and all other animals they directly or indirectly depend on plants for food. Children, I hope you understood all the topics which we have discussed. If you have any doubts, do approach your subject teachers to get your doubts clarified. Thank you one and all.